International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
In today's top stories, the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has addressed his greetings to the Algerian people on the occasion of the advent of the holy month of Ramadan. The Vice President of the African Union Commission, Salma Malika Haddadi, has described 2025 as a pivotal year in the process of criminalizing colonialism in Africa, highlighting Algeria's achievements in this field. And the UN has warned that humanitarian operations in the Gaza Strip remain subjected to restrictions while the population faces extremely harsh conditions. Hello and welcome on Radio Algeria International. I'm Jamal Slimani. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has addressed his greetings to the Algerian people on the occasion of the holy fasting month of Ramadan. In a message of greetings addressed to the Algerian people on this occasion, the President indicated that citizens give thanks to Allah Most High for having allowed them to welcome the sacred and blessed month of Ramadan, adding that it gave him great pleasure to extend to all Algerian women and men his best wishes while praying to the Almighty to make it a month of goodness, blessings and solidarity. He also commended all the efforts that have shielded the country from fluctuations by ensuring the availability of the products citizens need, stressing the importance of joining efforts to maintain this abundance and avoid all forms of speculation and waste. The President added that as the month of mercy and forgiveness is welcomed, he extends his wishes to members of the national community abroad without forgetting their brothers in wounded Palestine, praying to Almighty God to ease their suffering, and concluded by wishing a Ramadan Mubarak and Ramadan Kareem to all, affirming that Algeria lives on free and proud with glory and eternity to its valiant martyrs.
نحمد الله تعالى أن هل علينا شهر رمضان المبارك بنفحاته الربانية، فبهذه المناسبة يسعدني أن أتوجه إلى كل الجزائريات والجزائريين بأصدق التهاني وأطيب التبريكات، سائلا المولى عز وجل أن يجعله شهر خير وبركات وتضامن. كما أنوه بكل المجهودات التي جعلت بلادنا في منأى عن كل التقلبات من خلال توفير كل ما يحتاجه المواطن من منتوجات، مع تضافر جهودنا بالطبع جميعا للحفاظ على هذه الوفرة وتجنب كل أشكال المضاربة والتبذير. كما لا يفوتني ونحن على أعتاب شهر الرحمة والمغفرة أن أهنئ أبناء جاليتنا في الخارج بهذه المناسبة، دون أن ننسى أشقاءنا في فلسطين الجريحة، راجين الله عز وجل أن يخفف من معاناتهم. وصح رمضانكم ورمضان كريم. عاشت الجزائر حرة أبية، المجد والخلود لشهدائنا الأبرار، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
That was the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune. As you followed in our top stories, the Vice President of the African Union Commission, Salma Malika Haddadi, has described 2025 as a year or as a pivotal year in the process of criminalizing colonialism in Africa, highlighting Algeria's achievements in this framework as well as in addressing historical injustices suffered by the continent. The details in this report by Masoud Sharfi.
In a statement to Algerian Press Service APS on the conclusions of the ordinary session of the AU Summit of Heads of States and Government, Ms. Haddadi indicated that 2025 marked a turning point in the criminalization of colonialism in Africa, with Algeria leading an intense diplomatic and legal movement crowned by historic decisions linking memory and international justice. The Algiers Declaration, adopted during the International Conference on Colonial Crimes November 30th to December November 1st, 2025 in Algiers classified colonialism and nuclear tests in southern Algeria as crimes and called for reparations. The Vice President of the AU Commission welcomed the February 16, 2026 AU Summit decision in Addis Ababa, officially recognizing slavery, forced deportation, and colonialism as crimes against humanity and genocide against African peoples. Ms. Haddadi highlighted Africa's security challenges amid instability, but noted opportunities for stability and development, stressing the AU's African solutions to African problems approach with member state support. She also noted the African-Italy Summit on February 13th and AU partnerships with the UN, EU, League of Arab States, the US, Russia, Turkey, and India, covering development, trade, security, health, energy, infrastructure, and technology. The Vice President of the AU Commission concluded that these partnerships with various states and organizations demonstrate the AU's commitment to strengthening multilateral international cooperation in service of Africa, aiming to support the continent's economic, social, and political development.
The Interior Minister, Mr. Said Sayud, has inaugurated, together with the Secretary of State to the Minister of Foreign Affairs in charge of the National Community Abroad and African Affairs, Sofiane Shaib, the Wergla Regional Annex for the authentication of administrative documents intended to use abroad under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the National Community Abroad and African Affairs. Speaking on the sidelines of the inauguration ceremony, Mr. Sayud described the structure as the result of close ministry coordination with provinces, reflecting commitment and efficiency in serving citizens.
It is work that falls within the framework of our efforts aimed at bringing administrative services closer to citizens, allowing for the reduction of distances and time frames, and ensuring high quality in institutional performance, and which has come as the result of intensive and responsible coordination between our two ministerial departments, with the effective contribution of the concerned province within a short time frame that reflects a spirit of commitment and efficiency in serving citizens.
He noted the initiative could gradually expand to other regions to improve administrative services and promised his department's ongoing support to ensure its success. For his part, Mr. Shaib stated that the annex stems from cooperation between the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and the Interior, reflecting the state's commitment to modernize institutions and simplify procedures for citizens. He stressed that this approach follows President Tebboun's directives to ensure modern, efficient public services and address citizens and national communities' concerns abroad.
يأتي تجسيد هذا المشروع الهام في إطار تنفيذ التوجيهات السامية لرئيس الجمهورية السيد عبد المجيد تبون.
The materialization of this important project comes within the framework of the implementation of the high directives of the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, aimed at enshrining the citizens' right to benefit from a quality public service, enhancing the level of administrative services provided to citizens inside the country and abroad, and addressing their concerns within a comprehensive vision that seeks to establish the foundations of a modern public administration.
The Secretary of State said the new structure brings the administration closer to citizens, enabling regional document authentication to or for broad use and reducing delays. The Council of the Nation has praised in a statement the journey of the African Parliamentary Union on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of its creation, noting that Algeria's regular participation in its meetings reflects the country's commitment, under the leadership of the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, to its African identity. Mr. Sharfi again.
On the occasion of the UPA's Golden Jubilee, the Council of the Nation extended its greetings to its President and General Secretariat, calling to strengthen cooperation among the representatives of the continent's people and to achieve the objectives set by its founders. The Council noted that through its regular participation in the Union's annual conferences and as a member of its Executive Committee, Algeria contributes to realizing the UPA's objectives, reflecting Algeria's commitment under the leadership of the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, to its African identity, continental economic integration, the restoration of the continent's full rights, and Africa's role in international peace and security through the UN system reform. In this context, the Council recalled the President of the Republic's remarks at the 39th AU Summit, highlighting the need to amplify Africa's voices, unify positions, and show loyalty to the African community. It noted that the UPA, as the first initiative uniting African parliamentarians, strengthens efforts to restore the continent's rights and address its challenges. Over half a century, the UPA has fostered friendship, consultation, and dialogue among African parliaments, with member states contributing to solutions for issues affecting African peoples.
Within the framework of strengthening bilateral cooperation between Algeria and Niger, a meeting has been held via video conference between officials from the Sonalgas Group and those of the Niger electricity company Nigelec, during which it was decided to reactivate the bilateral agreement between the two companies. The two parties discussed accelerating cooperation and finalizing agreements, and with Sonalgas experts sent to Niamey to assess the Nigelec power plant site and its team receiving training at Sonalgas Services School of Electricity and Gas Engineering in Adrar. During the meeting, Sonalgas reaffirmed its readiness, expertise, and infrastructure to ensure the partnership's success, revive joint projects, and foster development and closer ties between the two countries. Meanwhile, a delegation of experts from Sonalgas Group, led by the Director General of the Engineering subsidiary, is conducting a welcome visit to the Republic of Mozambique to transfer Algerian expertise in electricity production and energy engineering, in line with the instructions of the President of the Republic, aimed at strengthening Algeria's presence in regional energy markets and supporting South-South cooperation. You're still listening to Radio Algeria International. Now to the Middle East. The situation in the Gaza Strip, including the respect of the ceasefire and the reconstruction of the devastated Palestinian enclave, will be on the agenda of the first meeting of the so-called Peace Board, promoted by U.S. President Donald Trump, which is being held today in Washington. On the eve of this first meeting of the Peace Board, the Palestinian resistance movement Hamas, through its spokesperson Hazem Qasem, demanded that concrete measures be taken to stop the continuous Zionist aggression, facilitate the reconstruction of Gaza, and that resources be granted to begin a real phase of humanitarian aid and relief for the suffering Palestinian population in Gaza. Meanwhile, the UN has warned that humanitarian operations in the Gaza Strip remain subject to restrictions, while the population faces extremely harsh conditions. During a Security Council session, the Under-Secretary General for Political Affairs, Rosemary DiCarlo, pointed out that a significant increase in relief supplies and medical equipment is required to prevent a further deterioration of the crisis, highlighting that thousands of people are in need of urgent medical evacuation.
The entry of assistance into Gaza must increase significantly. This is essential for an inclusive Palestinian-led recovery and reconstruction. Madam President, encouraging progress has been made since the ceasefire came into effect last October in aid access and delivery. Still, the vast majority of Gaza's population remains displaced and continues to endure extremely harsh living conditions. Humanitarian operations in Gaza have continued amid severe constraints. Scaled-up entry of shelter materials, educational supplies, and medical equipment, among other items, is urgently required.
For his part, the permanent ambassador of the State of Palestine to the United Nations, Minister Riyad Mansour, stated that this year, on the first day of the holy fasting month of Ramadan, Palestinians are deprived of practicing their religion freely and peacefully.
Madam President, today is the first day of Ramadan, the holy month that should be a month of peace and spiritual reflection. But Palestinians in occupied Palestine are sadly stripped from their ability to live their faith freely and peacefully. From the centuries-old Christian and Muslim houses of worships destroyed, to the assault on Al-Haram al-Sharif and Al-Haram al-Ibrahimi, to the military checkpoints and restrictions against Muslims and Christians' pilgrimage, there is no peace anywhere, anytime. The Holy Land, sacred for the three monotheistic religions, yearns for peace and remains deprived of it.
Mansour emphasized that Palestine belongs to the Palestinian people, warning that if the annexation is not confronted, it will determine the future of the region or doom it to failure.
Madam President, Israel's goal has been for a while now to remove the Palestinian people, to seize Palestinian land. The scale and the pace have changed dramatically, but the tools and the objectives are the same. Settlements and settler terrorism, land expropriation and diverse excuses and house demolitions, the takeover of land registration, all to serve that ultimate objective, annexation. Madam President, Palestine belongs to the Palestinian people. It is not up for grabs, and it is not for sale. It is not a land without a people. And despite all its efforts, Israel will not transform us into a people without a land.
Despite this and the Zionist entity's order to cease the activities of humanitarian agencies at the end of this month, the head of mission of the NGO Médecins Sans Frontières for Palestine, Philippe Ribeiro, stated from Amman that the organization is maintaining its operations and will continue to provide medical assistance to the Palestinian population. Now to Africa. The UN Independent Fact-Finding Mission on Sudan has reported acts of genocide in Al-Fasher carried out by the Rapid Support paramilitary forces, which have controlled the Sudanese city since last October. The details with Masoud Sharfi.
In its report Characteristics of Genocide in Al-Fasher, the UN Independent Fact-Finding Mission on Sudan concluded that the RSF's systematic action in Al-Fasher, Darfur, showed genocidal intent, including targeted killings, sexual